We hired someone that had HIV and didn't know it.
Damn. How did you find out?
We did their medical. So what happens is they come and do their trial. Yeah, and they had Hep B as well. Yeah.
Mommy.
Dream that got me on.
Starzy.
White family music. I'm going back to where I belong. You're the reason why I'm singing this song. Boy, I didn't know wrong, but you broke my heart.
Hi guys, we're Team Apple. I'm Yaba and we are Ghana bound. I have got two of the most beautiful women with me, so I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourselves.
I'm Amanyamewa.
And I'm Abna Richardson from Destination Africa.
Yes, I was going to say actually, because you're both doing YouTube as well, and I found both of theirs really, really useful, so I'm going to put all the details below.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have two YouTube channels. One is my personal YouTube, which is called Amanyamewa, and then I have the business YouTube channel called Amani Consult Official.
And what's your YouTube channel?
Okay, so our YouTube channel is Destination Africa Group TV, and what we do is inspire the next generation through teaching them about their culture, their language, their history, and all the things that we're missing out in terms of building a really strong foundation for the next generation of leaders.
Yes, we need you
So,
guys.
yeah,
Big
of
style.
course, yeah.
I'm going to put all the details in the description box.
Thank you.
Yes, and as well as all the amazing things you guys are doing, because you are two very busy women. So first of all, thank you for taking time out to come and chat to me today.
We wouldn't be anywhere else. Yeah, trust me.
I love it, but they're also mothers too. And just like me, you're mothers who came to Ghana by yourselves initially.
Yes.
You took those children and you traveled by yourselves. So that's I wanted to talk about it because while I was still living in the UK, I was on a Facebook group and someone was asking, and she said, "Oh, has anyone traveled by themselves with kids? I'm not sure how to, if I would, is it safe, etc." And I thought actually, now that I've met you guys and actually other women too, it'd be a really good point of discussion.
Yeah, let's talk about this. There's a few things I need to get off my chest.
Okay.
And I'll start with you. When did you initially come to Ghana?
I came in 2019 in September. Yeah, and for me it was pretty easy. I just literally took my kids, packed my stuff, and entered the plane and arrived in Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
As you do.
We'll start with the easy first, and then we'll talk about the rest.
Yeah.
So when you were planning your move, 'cause it was a little while ago now, but when you were planning it, and it was before COVID as well, so you didn't have the other wahala attached to that.
Yeah.
How did you find the planning process to actually move?
How should I say it? For me, to be honest, it was actually pretty simple and straightforward. Though when it comes to the finances and the how, that's a different part. But for it being just me and the kids, when the time came, it was pretty much just get up and go. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much how it was.
Because you did it all by yourself.
I did everything by myself. Yeah. From announcing it to the schools and where they were, she was just in nursery and my son was actually at home with me at that time because they were very young, so it was just easy and they were with me most of the time already. Yeah, and my daughter's also used to traveling with me, so it was easy actually.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And actually really encouraging for those who have that as well.
Yeah.
And did you find there were any challenges at that stage, the planning stage?
To be honest, for me, it wasn't really a challenge when it comes to the kids, taking them out of Germany into Ghana where they haven't really lived before. It was not a challenge because they loved it. As soon as they arrived, they were like, yo, what's happening?
We're home.
Yeah. They love it, yeah.
And Abna, how about for yourself, the planning stage? So yourself and your husband, and how many children do you have?
Okay, so myself and my husband, there's 3 children. So we are a family of 5. The planning stage, it's funny because it started before the last one arrived. Before the first one arrived actually. So hubby always wanted to come home. His thing was we were going to raise our children if we ever had them in Ghana. And it was myself that had to really mentally prepare myself to come home. So for anyone that wants to come home, I think you need to really mentally prepare yourself and stay in that focal point to say, right, I'm going to come home. The actual physical planning stage, hey! So it's like once we made our minds up, what we did was we came from 2016 to 2019. I think we came about 3 or 4 times to make sure that we were used to certain things, understood the prices of things, the systems, the way people worked and all of that. And to be honest, I think that was important because, and we were asking questions along the way, like how much is the cost of this and blah, blah, blah. That was kind of all part of our planning stage. And then before we came, we had to get the stuff together, do the shipping, look for like the cheapest shipper but the most efficient, what we could take, what we couldn't. We got Ghanaian passports ready. I mean, we could go on about the planning, but we made, Michael's a bit of a geek, so he would make a spreadsheet.
Hey, spreadsheet.
Hey, he's a spreadsheet guy, yeah. Me, I would have just said, okay, oh yeah, children, come on, let's go, yeah. Come on for this.
There's the other way.
Let's go. Yeah,
then there's the mic way.
But I see the difference.
No.
I'll explain later. Yeah.
Okay, but this is why we get on so well, because we're just like, put everything in one bag, one time, Ghana must go, let's go.
So you spreadsheeted.
He spreadsheeted, so we were ticking things off as we went along, and I have to admit, you know, when he gets it right, credit to him, he got it right.
Wow.
So yes, Mikey.
You said you had to come here a couple of times, but I have been here so many times ever since I was a child. We came here every year.
Yeah.
So I'm so used to the system here that I already knew where and how I'm going to do everything before I even started planning of coming here. So it was easier for me.
That's why it's
so interesting.
Because that is really interesting, because you may even have taken it for granted how much, that's how much
I
things
know,
cost.
yeah.
How about when you actually flew? How did that go with the kids?
Okay, so we've had the countdown. The night before, we hardly slept. And then we woke up ready to get to the airport. And good old Richardson style, we almost missed the flight. So we were deliberating actually, should we drive to the airport or should we get a taxi? Eventually we decided on a taxi. Taxi came and there was traffic and you know yes, we almost missed the flight. So me, for some reason, I always end up having some argument or fight with somebody for not allowing us on the flight. So this is what happened the last time, and you know, it was the children couldn't get themselves ready on time, and it was every story under the sun that a mother could give. But the flight itself was as smooth as you could possibly have it. The children made friends with people on the flight. They were learning how to speak another language with children on the flight. And yeah, we had what, the 6-year-old, the 8-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And it was lovely. We got here, that heat that you always get just literally hits them in the face, and I think the smell. Like when they just inhaled that smell, they just knew that they were home.
So how long did he stay in Ghana for?
He stayed here for about a month, maybe just over a month.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you guys have said that you did the transition yourselves, because there's a part of me that actually wishes I had done that, because although it would have been hard in the beginning, it would have kind of like literally throw me in the deep end. So I would have known. You do. And me being, you know, there's 3 of them, I need the cushion, I need the help. Hey, he stayed for the 3 months, and when Michael finally left, and you know what, I have a friend in the UK who, she's a single mum, and she does things with her eyes closed, you know, things that I really sort of look at her and admire. I don't know how she does it, but when you are propelled into the deep end, you get on with it, but it's just the getting on with it initially that is really difficult. So for all single mothers out there, I have to say, guys, the utmost respect. 100%. Like, you need to be honored, because you're doing the job of 2 people. And it is not a walk in the park. It really isn't. And what I found was, we were here, new system, new culture, new traditions, new way of life. It was, like Emma said, it was a whole new world. And I had to adjust. Michael wasn't here. So I guess if you want to talk about the challenges in a bit, we can, but I should have come down alone and did it like you guys. Yeah.
It toughens you.
It toughens. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, by force.
It's by force. And how about you, Amma? Because you flew by yourself.
Well, actually,
with the
Granddad was with us.
So your granddad
My
came.
dad was, their
Brilliant.
granddad. Yeah.
Good. How did you find the flying experience with kids?
To be honest, it was smooth. With the weighing, I also make sure that, you know, because I don't want no packages to be opened. I don't like that. So it was good. One was a little bit over, but I calculated and he let us off, so it was fine. And thank God, my kids loved it. They were quiet, sleeping, watching movies, enjoying the food, playing with other kids. So
That's
the
good.
flight, the flight by itself was smooth, I have to say.
It doesn't have to be a horror story.
No,
it doesn't have to, like mine.
Let us hear you.
Things you have to prepare, the paperwork, because I flew during COVID, so all the paperwork and things they asked me throughout. That was more the stressful thing, I think. But the kids were fine.
Yeah, I have
But-
a question.
Yeah. Oh, I had one as well. Go on, sis. Yeah.
Were you having to wear the mask throughout the flight?
No, they said throughout, yes, but when you eat or drink, you don't have to wear them. And I was eating and drinking the whole time.
Yeah,
the
you
whole
did
time.
that.
I was eating and drinking the whole
was
time.
going in.
But generally, you're supposed to wear your masks, throughout the whole flight. And when you land, you're on a lot more queuing than when you're not on COVID flying.
Right.
So the kids would, getting a bit tired, etc., etc.
Yeah.
People were really helpful as always.
Right.
Yeah. And then when I was getting my COVID test done in Ghana, I had my daughter on my back.
Right.
And then she was kicking around and we were trying to get the thing up my nose. I was like, eish.
All those things.
But ultimately, it was once we landed and saw how naturally the kids took to it. We were like, no
They
problem.
were home.
The stress just
They
gone.
just fell
It was
off.
pure
That's
joy.
what happens. And the first night sleep in Ghana is like therapy. It's
You
like
don't want to wake up, and then when you do wake up, and then you realize like
I'm
you're
here.
and go, oh my
It's like,
god.
That feeling, that one right there, I would redo over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say about the challenges of being by myself with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
How did you have any?
Well, the difficult thing was because I'm with the kids by myself and we didn't have much of help. We didn't have a nanny or a house help, and grandma is doing her own thing. She wasn't even around, I think. Yeah, she came in and she left. So I was like alone. Like pretty much the same as in abroad, but now here in Ghana. So like washing clothes, because when the washing machine doesn't work or it hasn't arrived yet or the electricity goes off, like washing clothes, cooking food, getting everything else done, keeping the kids occupied. Simple things like going to the market and coming back. Oh my god.
How did you overcome that?
I just did it. I don't know how,
Yeah.
because there was not much help around. But you just manage, you know how moms do. You
Yeah.
just get up and you go and you do. And sometimes it's not perfect. It's not the way you would like. But you just, you do it. Yeah.
It's like it's not always going to be rosy, whatever country you live in, and it's just growing with them, developing and teaching them that life doesn't stay the same. It evolves, and different experiences teach you different things about life, and we just grow together. And it makes you closer, I think, like
Yes, it
stronger.
did.
It does.
Yeah.
So how about when Mike left after this initial?
Hey!
Any challenges?
I don't know.
Where do I start with this one? So we used to homeschool in the UK, and Mike used to go to work, and I had a routine on lock, like everything that had to be done. Today we're going to this activity, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then around that, I would be doing, so I used to iron every day. I didn't used to cook every day, like maybe 2 or 3. But you know, like when that's your routine, you almost have it, in place. And then of course I'd get the children involved and they'd be doing their ironing and all of that. But for some reason, when we came to Ghana, it didn't.
Ghana will mess
It
up your
messed me up. It messed me up. So I was like, why is it that it feels like it's taken a million years
to get one task done?
Exactly, to get one hair.
You're right.
You know what? I think for some reason, it's the efficiency of sometimes the way that we think, or the proximity of how close things are to us. So in the UK, I knew where everything was. If I needed something like to call my bank, it's there.
Easy.
Exactly. And also, you have an understanding for each other, so you know how things work. If you're expectant on somebody over here, it's madam, but even though I'm 1 hour late, it's okay. I'm here.
How did you feel with that lack of routine then when you initially came?
I was messed up. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just gonna keep it real. And then this is me now trying to replicate my lifestyle from the UK in Ghana. So then I realized, I had to put my hands up. I'm like, I'm not trying to be Superwoman for nobody. This isn't gonna work.
It's gonna kill you.
It's gonna kill me. So then I had to try and find help. Now, finding help is one completely different ballgame. What we did was we spoke to people who had agencies, we spoke to expats that had just arrived, we spoke to locals, and they all pretty much said similar things but differences. So you had the ones that said, okay, when you interview them, make sure that you vet them for this, that and the other, make sure that you get these references, make sure you get their medicals. Like, we can go into that whole thing, So, but trying to find house help, even interviewing them, like there's a part of me that wished Michael was here so that I had the extra eyes. But you didn't. And so you literally had to learn on the ground. You had to find out about who they were, what the level of pay was, exactly the background checks they were coming in. We hired someone that had HIV and didn't know it.
How did you find out?
We did their medical. So what happens is they come and do their trial, and they had Hep B as well. So they came and they did their medicals, and then but before that they had a trial. And on the interview you'd ask them, are there any known conditions that you...
And they lied?
Yeah, of course.
This is so, I'm so happy you're saying this, because I read that, oh, you check medical. I'm like, oh, I'm sure the person will be fine, or
don't
check it. I'm learning right now.
Assume, never. Because in Ghana, what I find is, because it could be something as little as, do you know where this is? And because they don't want to seem like they're disappointing you, they'll be like, yeah, it's over here, when actually it isn't. It's that same mind. We got another young lady who, by profession, she was a chef. But then she was to help us out running around the house. So we're one of these families that include everybody in the family as well. So we were working, everything was going fine, and then it's quite hard to not think in an English sense when you come in certain aspects. So we knew that there was a law that came out that said that domestic workers have to now pay tax. So we wanted to find out how we would do that and make sure that their taxes are also paid. We didn't know that they could be responsible for paying their own taxes. So we thought because she was employed, we'd have to be paying her taxes. So then we called her to speak to her about it, and she was like, oh, you know my snits, cry, you haven't even been paying my snits, so we have to backdate it. You know, if you don't backdate my snit and pay it, she's like, you know, I can report you to the inland. I'm like, oh, we've got a lawyer in the house. Okay, bye. And then we got somebody in. Everybody's house I've gone to work in. The reason why I've left, because I had a whole list of questions. The reason why I've left is because they said that their husbands like me.
You're going to say it?
She said it. She said it. So then me, of course, I got on her Instagram. I started saying, I'm like,
that's it.
This guy.
Bye-bye.
And she
can go to another house.
I'm telling you. You're not coming here. You're not coming here. So do you have a good support network around you? Like a couple of friends?
No.
So you're doing solo.
Because some people are like, you meant to be back in Germany by now, because how do you go through this?
But it says a lot about who you are.
Wow.
Your character, like your resilience is second to none.
And you're just getting on with it. You're not giving yourself like, oh, it's hard, I'm going.
No.
You're just getting through it. So those few months where I was doing it by myself, like I was saying,
you rocked it.
but everything went wrong. It's almost like the things you think, when I move with my child, I hope this doesn't happen to me.
And then it
And it
happened.
happened to me. And it's like the kitchen tap just flew off one day, and then we had the water fountain in the house. Who do I call? Okay, Ghostbusters. And then that's how I built my strength, because through that, now I'm just like, okay, if this happens, I do that.
Exactly.
Yes, if my
and also
children,
who to call, because then
you need to have a support of some kind, somebody to call. And also, then one day the children were playing with the slats, like the traditional Ghana slats in the windows. And then I was in the kitchen, and I didn't know they were playing with the slats. Next thing I know, I hear this crash. And then I run, you know, one of those crashes that you think, it's not a small thing. I ran, I don't remember the run, I ran to the living room, and there was glass everywhere, there was blood. I was like, oh my, and I found myself at night. Do you call A&E? Do you NHS?
Where's A&E?
Where's NA? What's ambulance?
What is that here?
All I saw was blood and glass. I called Sam. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Glass, blood, blah, 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 blah. He's like, what are you? Speak English. Blah, 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 blah.
I know that.
And thank God Benji had cut here. The way it had avoided his eye. And the glass was shards everywhere. So it's things like this it strengthened me because I knew straight away I was like, okay, I need to register at the hospital. I need to know where to get an ambulance. Who do I call?
Things you don't really actually.
And I've connected with all the neighbors. All the neighbors. I've got their numbers. I'm like, if there's an emergency, if there's security, any issues, I'm calling this person. So those sort of things. Yeah. And of course, then we had flood, the house flooded.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Oh, everything. But we thank God, you know, we're safe.
That,
But the experience have been many. But you know, it's one of those things that toughens you, but it also shows you how to prepare in a new country. Which is why I wanted to share today how people can, what to expect.
Very quickly, again, the children were playing outside, and then I heard crying. I remember I was on the phone actually. I heard crying, came out, and then my oldest ran upstairs, and he was like, "Oh, Adante's cracked his front teeth." So I thought,
oh, they told me about it when I came.
My sister. So I came downstairs, this boy's teeth, and it was so symmetrical as well.
Wow! Yeah, that's your baby, right?
That's the baby.
Oh my God.
So again, I didn't know. We didn't have any dentist here. We didn't know where to go. Where to go, sis. But actually, when we did, when we came at taking the children to a dentist once, so we took her to Adante to her dentist. She looked at it, she couldn't really treat it, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a dentist number of two dentist numbers." They do locum in, so sometimes they're at their own practices, sometimes they're at Kolebu. And when I heard Kolebu, I was like, the waiting time, like,
I hear that when I hear the word Kolebu,
I was like, goodness does not come.
From those ways. So I called her and she was like, "Do you know what? I'm actually on my way to Kolebu. Can you come tomorrow?" I'm like, "No, one of the teeth is actually turning black." It was literally turning like it was dying. The nerve in it was dying. So we got there, and then she was like, "Okay, it's okay, just come." We got there. She was there, and another lady dentist from abroad was there. The efficiency that they looked after this boy with, hey Charlie, I've never got that. Never in the UK, ever. That's it. So it was just amazing. And then from then we've kept in touch, and they've done their follow-up appointments.
These small things have not happened to us. It's not small things that have happened here.
This is it.
Because you worry about these things when you're about to move anywhere in the world. So when you come, even Ghana, you know Ghana well. Even then, it's like, where do I take these children for help? But there are places, and there is a way to overcome any of those struggles too.
And I think these things are blessings in disguise, because if they didn't happen, we'd probably still be lying back thinking, we'll get to that healthcare, we'll get to that doctor, we'll get
things you can't plan in advance.
Exactly,
And like you said, what's it called? Like, in Germany they say adiatse. When your car breaks down, you just call and they'll be there within minutes. That has happened to me 3 times here in Ghana.
Wow.
Wherever I'm like, who do I call? I'm alone in the car again. You see? But always they'll be like, "Can I help you?"
There's
and
someone.
they literally help you. And they get you off the road and you're good to go. Like that's the adiatse here in Ghana. Like,
wow, that's your
breakdown cover, AA.
No, AA. You know.
Definitely.
So it's really encouraging. That's the biggest thing to hope you guys can take away, is to build that community. So what would you advise someone who is coming alone with their children, whether they're expecting the partner to come and go or not? What would you advise them?
If you're going to be alone at any given point, you're going to be alone, whether your partner is coming or not. Like at that time, it's you against the world. So what I would say is, one, to mentally prepare yourself for the eventualities, and that is it's difficult because you can't really practice keeping yourself calm and sane, but it's almost mentally gearing yourself up to accepting that if anything does happen, I'm going to find a resolution. Like, I'm going to have to find a way to be able to resolve it, because one thing I always take strength from is the fact that our parents went to a country that was completely foreign to them, and there was every bit of, we don't have the prejudices here that we have, that our parents experienced over there. But they made it work, and so if they made it work over there, then by all means we can do the same over here. So coming alone, do your homework, find the numbers of people that you need, find the connections of people that you need, and try and make your transition as smooth as possible. If you've never been, then as soon as you get here, try to get yourself into the culture, the language, the system. Get out there, do the shopping. Don't become too reliant on people, even though you are going to need the help. So I'll give you an example. If your nanny helps you with the shopping, go shopping with her a few times. Find out how much, you know, things are. If they've gone up, you know that they've gone up. If
Good
they've
advice.
gone down, yeah, you know they've gone down. Find out how people negotiate. Find out how people haggle. You can haggle in an English accent as long as you know what the price should be.
Yeah.
And if they hear an English accent and they start off at 20 CDs, listen to what somebody else, you know, your next door neighbour is saying, and then bring it down slowly. And then, like you said, familiarise yourself with people. So you make those connections, and they will help you out in the long run. But your main goal is to always focus on why you came. If you feel you came, then it will keep you here.
That's why I'm still here.
Yes, it really is everything.
Yeah.
In all of those challenges we went through, and there've been many others, but it's like it's the why.
Yes,
and
the why.
ultimately, we're here for it. You know, we're here to learn from it.
Yeah.
How about you, Yama? What advice would you give someone who's coming?
Oh, okay. My point of view would come from somebody who's come completely solo, like the way I did. I would definitely not advise you to come here if you've never been here. If you're coming with young children, don't do it. That's too risky. Try to come here beforehand. And when you eventually do come here, don't come here in the mode of holiday. Come here and know that you're gonna be here for a long time. So don't come in the holiday spirit, but rather in the realistic spirit. Try to live below your means. Be humble. I'm telling you. Be humble in all aspects. Character and as well as, you know, your spending. Because money goes quick here.
It's so true. There's no credit system, so you can't.
You must learn how to cut your coat. It's so important.
So thank you again, guys, for joining me. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe to their channel. I'm going to put all the descriptions below. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to us in 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to the family, and see you in the next one. Bye.